Hey everybody, welcome back. Northernlion plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth plus three wins in a row. Three wins in a row. Is that really? I thought we were doing better. Ruka, weren't we doing better? No, that seems right actually. Now that I think about it, let's start up another one. Dude, let's be honest. Like I'm recording this on February the 27th. The astute amongst you will notice it's Saturday. It's true. Occasionally have to sneak in a little extra Isaac on the weekend, DQ0Y, DP2X, as a result of, you know, baby stuff in the mornings throughout the... It happens, you know. It's not a big deal. Actually, I kind of look forward to it, to be honest, because Saturday vibe is just a little different, you know. I got because I don't have to do any other streaming later today, I already got my, like, blinds are drawn. It's a beautiful sunny day. It's one of those days, you know, it's still February. It's not unbelievably cold because I live in a part of the world where it doesn't get unbelievably cold, but it is seasonably crisp outside. But because I'm inside, I can open up the window, or open up the blinds at least, and it's sunny and not a cloud in the sky. The visibility is outrageous, so it kind of... You know, it tricks you into thinking it's a beautiful summer day until you see someone walking by and they're wearing, like, a winter jacket, you know? Anyway, it's a good day so far this morning. Normal baby stuff. Just hanging out. It's only 10 a.m. I've been up for, like, 3 hours, but it's only 10 a.m. It's not even that early this morning. The baby was quite nice. Had a very good sleep. Apart from that, just enjoying my days so far. It's another good week on Twitch as well. It's one of those weeks, you know, like Luck Be a Landlord, I had a lot of fun with. We'll probably start to, and this is, you know, inside baseball, but it's more like scheduling talk for people that are interested. Luck Be a Landlord, you know, I'm glad people are enjoying it. We're probably coming pretty close to the end of it being like a recurring 3 to 5 times a week sort of thing, just because of the fact that there's just not that much game there yet, you know what I mean? There's still, like, you know, we're not setting like world records or anything like that, but I think we need a little bit of time on the simmer in order for it to actually you know, get to that next level of gaming. Sorry, you just really need to not take damage here. I mean, this run, I would go so far as to say this run has like a 95% chance of a win if we get this deal with the devil. So with that in mind, what do? You just buy a spirit heart, man. And then, like, I would honestly probably pop this and see how we do. That's actually quite nice. We're not going to get enough to buy the stopwatch, which is what I was looking for. But we might get enough, you know, depending on what we get from the bosses. We might get enough. We'll see here. But yeah, and then, you know, Fiend Folio, which is the Isaac mod, that's going to continue, you know, probably, like, intermittently, until, oh my god, we actually dodged it. Until Repentance proper comes out. There's a lot to get into there, and I wish I'd gotten into it a little earlier, honestly. And then, dude, I can't, like, stress enough. Every once in a while, actually, it happens fairly frequently. There's a game that, like, people don't love watching, but I just say, shut up. Because we're gonna play a little bit of it. That's what happened with fights in tight spaces. It's not an insult to the game to say that I don't think it's the most watchable game on the planet. People join up to the stream and go like, you know, what the heck is this? I don't understand what's happening. Does anybody else have no idea what's going on right now? You know, it's not the easiest game to understand. It's not hard if you're familiar with the genre, but you know, it's not something you just turn it on and it's like basketball where you're like, you know, if the ball goes into the hoop, I'm feeling pretty good, right? But I've been having such a fun time with that I don't know how much more we'll play, but I was glad that I got a little extended fights in tight spaces time on Friday's stream. Just good vibes, you know. It's a great game. And if you're not familiar with it, it's basically like Into the Breach, which is another kind of underrated game that people did not enjoy watching all that much, to be honest, but it was an amazing game nonetheless. Like, kind of a sleeper game of the year for 2018. I am going to take something, but it's only because we're Maggie and I want to maintain, like, our deals with the devil moving forward. And then we'll peep this curse room. We'll get, we might as well buy stopwatch right off the bat, I think. It's a speed upgrade, right? Yeah, okay, now I'm feeling good about our speed. This is a tiers upgrade, so I'm pretty stoked. We'll move on here. Yeah, so it's a deck builder, but it also uses like strategy, positioning, tactics, etc., etc. Would highly recommend it if you're into Slay the Spire, Into the Breach, or both, which definitely describes me. Played a ton of Into the Breach, and you know, I don't think I need to tell you how much Slay the Spire I've played, and still occasionally do play. Anyway, we're moving on here. Yeah, it's been another good week. I don't have anything else to say. Like I said, what did I exhausted all my anecdotes yesterday. What was my anecdote from yesterday? I can't wait until later today when I buy a cheddar jalapeno muffin and eat it. But then I eat it so close to like lunchtime that I can barely fit lunch into my gullet. And then I go, you know what? I don't think I really want to eat dinner tonight. Like I think I kind of OD'd on the muffin. You know, you always hear people say they want a light lunch, you know? Hey, what could you go for? I could go for something light, you know? Last night was one of the few times in my entire life I think I've actually asked for a heavy meal. My routine got kind of disrupted. We were doing some spring cleaning stuff. We Marie Kondo'd some stuff. And, you know, people coming to take some possessions away. Oh, you're still alive. Meant that I couldn't have, like, my normal lunchtime. So instead, I had a sandwich, like, 3 hours after I normally have lunch. And then by the time, like, 5:30 or 6 p.m. rolled around, I was starving. And I was like, Kate, I want a heavy dinner. I don't know if oh, hey, that's pretty good, man. I don't know if other people are so open about stuff like that, but so what did I get? Oh man, I got a Chipotle burrito, and then an order of tortilla chips with guacamole. Not a light meal. I mean, quite a large meal. And you know what? Why would you pop the chariot to get out of there? That's a very good question, I think. I have no regrets. Let's put it that way. It is funny though, like when I'm setting up the, you know, Chipotle's kind of like my go-to order in. We don't order in very much anymore, because we got all this, you know, like meal, prep meal delivery service stuff, right? It's not like we're getting a sack of dry beans and a sack of dry rice and putting it together. You know, I'm not trying to make it seem, I'm not trying to be like, you know, hey, has anybody thought about hiring a $2,000 a month personal chef? I'm just being honest here, you know, it's not like we're saving a staggering heap of money by not ordering it, but we're ordering in a lot less. But anytime, like, my wife wants to order in, I go, sure, just, and this is honest, I just go, get whatever you want, and then just look at the menu and get me whatever you think I would like. I don't care that much to look at the menu. I'm like, I enjoy almost all foods. So if if you look at the menu and you see something that looks like it would fit my husband's palate, then by all means, just go ahead and order it. Don't let me slow down this whole operation. But whenever she's like, I don't really know what I'm feeling, I'm like, okay, let's get Chipotle. I will say we don't have, there are better Mexican or Tex-Mex restaurants in Vancouver than Chipotle for sure. It's still, you know, it's kind of a sorry state. And whenever I, you know, and of course the chance has not been there for quite some time for obvious reasons, but whenever I get the chance to, you know, go to, in particular, San Francisco, like if I can get a mission-style burrito within like 2 hours of landing, that would be ideal for me. And, you know, not just like a, you know, California burrito-style stuff, but I mean, like just a substantially greater class of, Mexican restaurant than we tend to get in Vancouver. However, it's just something about being able to like do 2 taps on your phone and have a burrito and tortilla chips on your door within like 22 minutes. There's a lot of temptation there. I can't deny it. But I always, you know, I think every person, if they're being honest with themselves, every person is rife with contradictions. You know, we're all hypocrites in our own ways. We hold other people, I should say, to unreasonable standards that, you know, we don't hold ourselves to. We give ourselves tons of credit and tons of leeway, tons of permission, etc., etc. Other people, we were like, no, why would you do it like that? Were you not being, you know, so conscious of this, this, and this, you know? But I'm a nutritional hypocrite for sure. Like, when it comes time to order the burrito, I say to myself, you know, I go, because it has nutritional information, right? For one, I don't overstuff the burrito with optional ingredients. That hurt. Not for health purposes, but rather because I find that when a burrito gets overstuffed, it kind of loses edibility. I hate when you get down to... And I keep it in the foil, by the way. You know I keep it in the foil. But I hate when you get down to, like, the end of the burrito and you gotta take it out of the foil and it's more like, you know, it's soup in a tortilla bowl, kinda, and you're eating it all weird like... Okay, so this is, like, going super badly. Can I run something by you? I'm dumb. I'm dumb. I, first off, should not be taking this much damage. Secondly, though, should have been just dropping bombs constantly, but I didn't. So let's go get some HP that I'm very glad I didn't reroll. And get the heck out of here, man. That was a poor performance. One of the worst boss fights I think I've had in a long time. And I should have been using bombs the whole time. But I'm always like, you know... and this is gonna be maybe the most divisive thing I've ever said. I don't tend to get cheese on the Chipotle burrito. I love cheese too much, to be honest with you. And I look at the, you know, the nutritional information, and it goes like, you know, cheese an extra 110 calories, and I'm like, that's just too much. But then on top of the normal order, I throw in an entire order of tortilla chips and guacamole. It's also occasionally like we'll get pizza and I'll tell myself like I'm being a little bit more health conscious. And I'll be like, you know what, instead of getting the pizza that's too big, why don't I just get a Caesar salad? And then when I order it from like the place that we order pizza from on the regular, the nutritional information, I know in my heart of hearts it's wrong. And I know a Caesar salad is not the best salad for you to begin with the bacon and the croutons and the parmesan and the dressing is, you know, mayonnaise or cream based or something. But anyway, it is delicious. And it tastes good for you, which is the important part, I think. It tastes like you could believe like it's good for you. Like when you're eating a plate of French fries, you're like, this is not good for me. When you're eating a Caesar salad, you're like, it's 75% lettuce, 25%, you know, petroleum, but anyway. The nutritional information is just wrong. I know it's wrong. We're gonna get a deal with the devil here anyway. Let's exercise some restraint and not use the Joker card. But genuinely, I know it's wrong, because it just doesn't compute. But it says, like, Caesar salad, 110 calories, and I'm like, this thing is freaking huge. It's like the size of a 5-star binder. It's not, there's no way it's 110 calories. Then you add the dressing, and it's like 110 calories, and you're like, then you add chicken, and it's like 110 calories, and you're like, okay, I'll add some bacon, 110 calories. Like, it's crazy, right? But sometimes that kind of trickery is good for your mental health, I think. Anyway. That's where I'm at, man. You know, it's a weird Saturday for me because, like, most of the... And this is not me complaining at all. But on a lot of... well, pretty much every other Saturday, you know, at least in 2021 so far, I set a lot of videos. Like, I tend to fall behind. You wouldn't know it because, like, you know, on the YouTube side, there's more content coming out than you know what to do with, right? Okay, that's fine. At least we tried there. But, I tend to genuinely fall behind a little bit. Which means that, you know, usually the way that it goes, because I'll give you my basic workflow, you know? Isaac in the morning, maybe some chess if you know, Kate's up a little earlier or the baby is particularly non-fussy. And then, you know, we stream 11 to 4. And then from 4 to 7, I'm on baby time. A lot of the time that ends up being, you know, just doing baby activities. So every once in a while she wants to take a nap. which is sick, and I can use that as an opportunity to maybe get a little bit ahead. But usually it's like after dinner, she goes down, she gets put to bed, and then I export that day's Twitch videos. I cut them up and send them to YouTube, which takes a couple of hours to process. And then the ones from yesterday. So, like, let's say it's a Tuesday. I send Tuesday's videos to YouTube to be set and thumbnailed and scheduled for distribution. And the ones from Monday's stream, I do that. I schedule them for distribution. So usually I'm like technically a day behind, but sometimes even, you know, you fall even further and further behind because you got inconsistent requirements, you know? Some nights are easier, some nights you got a little bit more elbow grease to put in for sure. This week, I made a habit of being like super far ahead, and so on Saturday, like there have been days like on Saturday, and nobody cares, I know, but I got to keep talking for the Vine. There's been Saturdays where like I spent an hour and a half to 2 hours just setting like a dozen videos that have kind of ended up in the hopper. Today, I will eventually have to set one video. It's this video you're hearing right now. Dude, what's up with all the nickels here? This is incredible. And an Isaac episode, like, because I've done it so many times, it takes, like, literally, I would say less than 25 seconds, including thumbnail creation. So I'm very familiar with that. I don't know what the heck I'm going to do with this newfound time. Jeez, I could even, I don't know, I guess I'll shave. That'll be nice. You know, usually I have to kind of try to shove that in at, like, 10:30 p.m. That'll be good. Just, I'm planning out my day. Usually when I plan out my day, and I'm sure this is relatable for a lot of people in a similar stage of their life, basically all I do is I look forward to the meals. I mean, I look forward to lots of things. You know, there's magical moments happening right now, but in terms of, like, things that you can put onto an agenda, you can't be like, oh, the baby's gonna say her first word today, you know? We'll look. I regret looking. I gotta look. Sorry. So we know that's going to be an Ace of Hearts in all likelihood, so let's just keep it moving here. Don't mind buying those. Pandora's Box Catacombs 2. I was just going to say, it's an item. Now, it's a garbage item. Oh, it gave us the transformation, which is still not great, but it's at least something. But yeah, I look forward to those meals, man. Whew. Even had a slice of banana bread this morning. Sun card is very good. There is, have you ever seen the movie The Trip starring, Rob Brydon and Steve Coogan? There's a great quote in there, which is a quote of a quote, I suppose, but you know, they're celebrating, I think, Steve Coogan's, like, 50th birthday, maybe it was his 40th birthday, I don't know. And he said there's a famous quote, you know, that you celebrate your 20s with drugs, your 30s with alcohol, and your 40s with food. One of the many, many quotes I disagree with highly. I celebrated my 20th birthday with alcohol, there's no doubt about that. I definitely celebrated my 30th birthday with food. I believe and you know what, can I tell you, I also celebrated my 10th birthday with food. I don't remember much about, you know, any birthdays that I had from that period, except I remember my mom made kind of a big deal about me turning 10, and she was like, you can have anything for dinner, what do you want? And I said, chicken fingers. And you know what? They all laughed. Ha 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 ha. When you're older, you could have had steak, but now you're having chicken fingers. I'm like, dude, screw you. I might still take the chicken fingers over a steak as an adult. As an adult, I get a lot of opportunities, you know, not to flex. I get a lot of opportunities to eat steak. It's a common adult meal. Chicken fingers, on the other hand, I gotta make up an excuse for. Oh, we were in a rush, so I got chicken fingers. No, I've been planning on that since 8:30 a.m., my man. Another speed upgrade. Sorry, I'm taking hits off the caffeination engine, too. I apologize. But, you know, it's Saturday. It's my day off. There's 2 pseudo-error rooms. It's a weird payout, man. What am I thinking? Hey, whatever, it's my day off. Oh, I got hit, it's my day off. Walked on the spikes, day off, it's my day off. You can't it's my birthday month. Can't be criticized. It's my birthday month. You wouldn't want to be criticized in your birthday month, would you? It's not my birthday month, by the way. Well, for two reasons. One is my birthday is in November. The other is that I don't believe in the concept of a birthday month. I don't even, and look, everybody out there, you know, is hurting in their own way. They got to do what they got to do to get through life, right? Yeah, it's just speed and low shot speed. I don't really understand it. And this is like a wholesale ripping off. There's a comedian named Patton Oswalt who has a joke from 15 years ago about how like you only get something like 20 birthdays, you know, or maybe 30 birthdays. And I think it's kind of it's a fun bit, you know. You get a birthday, you know, you get to celebrate your birthday as if it's a big deal, like every year of your life while you're still a kid. And then when you're 18, you get to celebrate your birthday. And then, you know, 19, you don't get to celebrate your birthday because, you know, you don't get anything at age 19 in the U.S. In many Canadian provinces, that's the age of, you know, you can legally purchase alcohol, but I digress, you know. Save that, you know, heckle him, I guess, next time you hear him tell the joke in person. Or don't, you know, just, you know, recognize the obvious. Always, you know, I don't, this is an aside. I don't see myself as a stand-up comedian, but I wonder how comedians feel about streaming when, you know, it's kind of like a comedy gig, or at least like you're on stage, but you're just heckled endlessly. And I don't just mean like heckled like, hey, boo, get off the stage, you're not funny. Like, occasionally that happens. Like, people will just pop into my chat, and by the way, you might think you're, like, clever, and you're gonna do this thinking that we're all in on the joke, and the mods are just gonna ban you, because, like, you're making the joke, but nobody else is gonna get it. So don't be mad if it happens. I'm warning you that it will happen. But people will come into chat and just be like, hey, put your bald head up my butthole, and then they just get banned. And then occasionally, like we look at the unban requests, and they'll be in there, and they'll be like, sorry, I just thought it was funny, but now I realize it was wrong. And I'm like, like, I hate to put somebody on blast here, okay? Because, like, they're a real person. But somebody came into chat, I was doing my little just chatting, like, preamble sort of thing. And I don't recognize the username, but they just typed show anus. Okay, so what I did, instead of doing what they suggested, is I typed /ban their username, and then they were left like, it's just the kind of thing that'll, you know, ask you if society, you'll have yourself asking, I should say, if society is okay. They're like, they wrote in the unban request, like, I apologize, I thought it might make him laugh, but I didn't know he would read it out loud. And I understand why I was banned, but I'd like to be unbanned. And I'm like, I mean, I'm not one of those guys who's like, you know, yo, you made one mistake in chat and then now, like, you're out forever. It depends on what the mistake is and whether or not you actually, you know, appear to understand why it's not okay. But it's just like, you really, I don't know, like, I just, like, it didn't cross your mind not to type show anus? Like, you could, I think of all sorts of things that'd be really funny to say in Mouth's chat, but I don't say them because it would be very disruptive. And we're friends. Like, we know each other. But anyway, you know, the gist of the bit is that, you know, after, like, your 20s, you don't really get to celebrate your birthday as if it's a huge... whatever you do personally is fine, obviously. But, you know, like, you can't be in your office and be like, well, it's my, you know, birthday week. I'm turning, you know, 33. It's not, you know, it's not that special, I guess. I understand this bit comes across as mean-spirited, but in order to understand it, you had to have been alive in the mid-2000s. It was a bit more of an acerbic and a much less wholesome time on planet Earth. Like, not in terms of, like, the conditions of things that were happening, just in terms of, you know, the culture was kind of a little bit more like, yeah, you're being bullied, I'm bullying people, but it's as a joke, you know? And we'll probably, you know, there will be some cyclical return to that at some point, I imagine, which will be weird. It's the way culture goes, I think, you know? You go through ebbs and flows. You know, the mid-2000s were like a South Park era. And then the mid-2010s, you know, roughly 10 years later, it's more like The Good Place. Everybody's like, holy farkin' snert balls, you know? So there, I don't even know. We're going to end up with like... Right now, like the Thanos of insult comedy is being incubated somewhere. We don't even know it. Like all this like wholesome like good vibes only stuff is creating like the most offensive comedian that will ever exist. He's just seething right now. Anytime someone eats a whole large pepperoni pizza and then people reply, that's self-care, that's another Infinity Stone added to the Andrew Dice Clay Gauntlet. Anyway, I mean, you can celebrate however you want, but I will say there's some judgment is attached for me. If you're in your 30s, if your birthday is on a Saturday or a Sunday, I think you can have one extra day. You can celebrate occupationally at your job on Friday or Monday, and be like, it was my birthday this weekend. But if you're like I'm sorry to tell you, you don't get to claim all of April as your birthday month as an adult. Because it's not your birthday month. We just had a baby. You know what happened, like, in that month? It was a whole lot of sitting around, followed by a salvo of, like, the 1812 Overture. Cannons were going off. It was confusing and exhilarating simultaneously. It got the emotions going, let's put it that way. But that was like a couple of days. The other 29 days of September, 30 days has September. The other 28 days of September was a whole lot of, like, you know, the start of Godspeed You Black Emperors, raise your skinny fists like antennas to heaven. We weren't at the payoff yet. We weren't at the dun 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 dun. As far as I'm concerned, you don't get a birthday month. However, your parents, especially your mom, she can get a birthday month, okay? When it's your birthday this month, your mom should have a good excuse to get wine drunk a little bit more frequently. And be like, man, this was a year ago, this was rough. You didn't do anything. Everybody else was putting in a ton of labor. Doctors were going, yeah, look, we don't need to get into it. Just saying. If anything, you get a birthday. You know, you celebrate the day that you, you know, came into fruition on planet Earth. I think your parents get the month. Your mom might get the whole life, for all I know. I can't fly. Why am I trying to fly? Let me out of here. I could probably kill these enemies easily. I just don't want to. Let's just escape instead. This is not where we want to go to finish the floor. How about that? Now I can fly, though. Incredible. I can't fly? Hey, whatever. It's my day off, by the way. Hey, it's my day off, Adrian. Can't, hey, no boxing on my day off. That's for Boxing Day. Hey, Adrian, I'm no boxing today. It's Boxing Day. It's my day off. Hey, Adrian. Yesterday was Christmas. You know today's Boxing Day. I don't do boxing on Boxing Day. It's my day off. Sorry, I'm workshopping a joke about... Isn't it ironic that Rocky doesn't do any boxing on Boxing Day, even though he's a boxer, because Boxing Day he gets off? But then he doesn't get it off because he's actually, he's American. I don't think you get the 26th off in America by default. Hey, Adrian. Like, isn't that, it's like a gentleman, you can't fight here, this is the war room type thing. Adrian, I don't do any boxing today, it's Boxing Day. Look, I know you're like, that joke sucks. People would, if they saw that in a movie, they would lose their minds. They'd be like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I swear to God, funniest thing I've ever seen. He turns himself into a boxer. Dude, come on. Don't give me this late stage guppy. I don't want it. I don't want it. Oh, come on. That's BS, man. You inherited my shot speed. Come on. Come on! That one was BS too, but it was BS because I'm stupid. Now, we will not lose this run, because the game dare not hit me with Strife on my day off. It's that simple. It's that simple. You watch the and I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, except that it's short. You know, it's only 4 episodes, which for a true crime series on Netflix is like mercilessly short. Doesn't go into like, and what she had for breakfast. Everything was totally fine in Miranda Sanchez's life. She had her typical breakfast: Rice Krispies with Lucky Charms marshmallows, no milk. And then the photo goes negative. Tragedy struck. She just lit up the room. This is Miranda Sanchez's co-worker at the Rusty Ladle. She just, everywhere she went, she just lit up the room. She didn't have any enemies. What people did not know was that she had made many enemies. Anyway, sorry, I've watched a lot of them. But there's one on the Cecil Hotel, which is a very, very famous case, both like, you know, in the US, and then also on the internet, and then also locally in Vancouver, because of the fact that the I just wanted the sack, man. I just wanted the sack. Because the victim is from Vancouver, but it's that, if you're not familiar just by the name of it, it's a case where there was that insane elevator footage of an obviously distressed young woman getting into the elevator. She hits like all the buttons, then it looks like she's talking to ghosts and stuff like that, and she's moving her hands around like crazy, and then later the body gets found in the water tank on top of the hotel after the residents and guests complain about the water pressure being low and also smelling like you know, dried almonds. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but you know, it's kind of interesting. I don't think the documentary is like super well done, but it's an interesting case nonetheless. But I'm losing my mind when I'm watching it as well, because like a central kind of part of it is how like the internet got so involved. And I think especially, like, it hits me a little different, I guess, because I work in the industry, and, well, like, not in the crime industry, but, like, I work on the internet, and a lot of the, and I've said this before, and I'm not necessarily bringing it up just to complain, but a lot of the stress I deal with in my life is essentially due to, you know, strangers online who are overly familiar, you know, and they're like, you know, what, you don't want my help? And I'm like, no, I just, you know, I'm just trying to enjoy my night, and you're like, well, why hasn't he ever considered doing this? And I'm like, bro, it's like, please, did you have to tweet this to me? It's 2:30 a.m. local time. I'm not NL right now. I'm just Ryan, man, and I'm tired. But a huge part of the documentary is about like the quote-unquote like web sleuth community who like tried to investigate the case on their own. Despite not having, I mean, what do you want me to say, right? Having a wealth of enthusiasm and a dearth of experience, let's put it that way. And you know, the kind of trouble that they got into as a result of that, and man, oh man, I don't know if anybody else got the same vibe from watching it, but it was so frustrating. Like, it just, and, you know, I'm not saying that police handled the case super well, and I'm not saying that there was no you know, help that the web sleuth community provided, but hearing the way that like 8 years on, these people talk about that time in their lives where they were like, you know, they're like, they see evidence, but they're like, no, this evidence isn't, I think that there was definitely a demon, or like the cops were in on it, and blah blah blah. You're just like, man, oh man, like, I would think that you would be like, you know, that was a different time in my life, and now that, you know, we've gotten a little further on, like, I kind of understand why I maybe shouldn't have gotten so involved in trying to solve this mystery. But I don't know, like, now that I think about it, you see the same thing happening, like, all the time. Remember there was, like, there's been other examples this year, but, like, they're a little too close. I don't even want to, like, not to me, but too close temporally to the current time, that I don't want to bring them up, because they're still going to be, like, raw for people. But, you know, there was that, like, Save Marina Joyce stuff on YouTube, like, a few years ago, where it was like, it seems like this YouTuber is being held against her will. She's, you know, it looks like she's looking off camera, and in her glasses, you could see the reflection of something, and it looks like a gun, and then it turns out, like, you know, I'm not making light of the situation, but she had a history, and like, an active history of very, very serious, you know, mental health issues, including, you know, hallucinatory ones. And she was, you know, suffering as a result of that, but people were, like, bringing up photos of like, her co-workers and being like, this is the guy who, he has her locked up right now, our sweet angel's, like, locked up. And I mean, the obvious one as well that people always point to is, like, when Reddit thought that they caught the Boston Marathon bombers, but it was just like, just like random people that happened to be there. That, you know, people, their enthusiasm outstripped their abilities. Let's put it that way. And it's a little scary, man. Like, the power of the internet, it's an incredibly powerful thing, but also simultaneously, let me just put it, it's just so rude, I apologize, but when the guy was describing, he was like, I spent maybe upwards of 1,000 hours investigating this case. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, first off, you didn't leave your computer chair, so I'm not sure how many stones you uncovered. But then secondarily, he was like, at the time I was in between work, and I was like, hey, you don't say. Now, again, I'm not trying to punch down. It's like, this guy, in my opinion at least, from what the documentary has shown, like, heavily muddled the waters of the real investigation for the people who had the resources and, you know, the prerogative to get it done. And then, you know, I'm like, well, yes, now I understand. You had a lot of, you know, some people would get into Genshin Impact and some people would try to solve murders over Twitter. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode today. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day off. If you did like it, hey, click the like button. It's that easy. And also follow me on Twitch. I'm live every day but Saturday, which was yesterday. So you got 6 days to make it work. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!